Last season, the Dallas Mavericks finished with a 43-32 record, and their record and seed wasn't that surprising, but what was surprising was how good their offense was, because for a lot of the year, they had the highest offensive rating in NBA history. And if Kristaps Porzingis and Luka didn't miss as much games as they did, they could have maybe been the third seed or even higher. But in the first round of the playoffs, they faced the number 2 seed Clippers, and Dallas forced the series to 6 games, despite Kristaps missing game 4, 5, and 6. And this was seen as very impressive, since the Clippers were one of the favorites to win the championship. And in this year's offseason, they traded Seth Curry to the 76ers, and in return, they got Josh Richardson. And so in today's video, I will be discussing how good I think they can be next season, as well as their offseason. Please like this video to help my channel grow, subscribe to help me reach my goal of 500 subscribers before the end of 2020, and comment on this video to start a conversation with me. Play that intro. The Mavericks' biggest move this offseason was trading Seth Curry to Philadelphia, and in return they got Josh Richardson and a 36th pick, which they used to select Tyler Bay. And I think this is a very good move because Dallas is losing one of the best shooters and role players in the NBA in Seth Curry, but Richardson is an elite defender who is really good on the perimeter. And aside from Dorian Finney-Smith Jr., the Mavericks didn't have any other above average perimeter defenders. So adding Josh will help them on that end significantly. And on offense, Josh is an average 3-point shooter who is a solid ball handler, and he can be an okay shot creator. He's definitely capable of scoring the ball because he averaged 13 points on average efficiency while being a 4th or 5th option. Dallas also got James Johnson from the Timberwolves, and I think this is an underrated, low-key good move, since last year in the playoffs, they got into a lot of altercations with the Clippers, and most of the times, no one defended Luka besides Porzingis, and you don't want your second best player protecting your first best player. But with them now adding James Johnson, he is known as one of the toughest players in the league, and he's not good enough to the point where it affects the team too much if he gets ejected or gets a tech. And in Johnson's last 14 games with the Wolves last season, he averaged 12 points and shot 37% from 3. He also was an above average defender, so I think he could be a solid role player for Dallas. So overall, I think Dallas's offseason was good because they got more defense with them getting Josh Richardson, and they got an enforcer in James Johnson. So I think this offseason they slightly improved while not losing any of their key players besides Seth Curry. I think there's a real chance that Luka Doncic wins the MVP next season because he's coming off a season where he averaged 29 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists on 46% from the field, which is already MVP level numbers, and his only flaw was that his team record wasn't as good, which will likely be better this season, and it would have been better last season if he didn't miss 11 games. But next year, I think he will be healthy all year, and that can lead to Dallas getting even more wins and maybe being a top 3 seed. My only fear is the fact that Kristaps will be missing the first few weeks of the season, and I don't know if Dallas can get a better record than teams like Denver or the 2 LA teams. But I do think they can get the 4th seed, but I don't know if that's good enough for Luka to win the MVP. But whether he wins it or not, he has proved he's a top 7 to 8 player when he forced the Clippers to 6 games and averaged 31 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists on 50% from the field. I don't know if Luka can improve much box score wise, but I think he needs to improve his 3-point shot and free throw percentage and defense. Despite him going to miss the first few weeks of the season, I think this can be Kristaps Porzingis' best season of his career. And yes, that's including the 2017-2018 season. and this is because this will be the second season off of his major injury. And over the course of NBA history, players who get injured return as their best selves, never in the first season and always in one of the prior ones. And also post All-Star break, he averaged 26 points per game, 10 rebounds, so he was trending upward. Porzingis also might be better, since he will be more used to Dallas and the team. Off the Mavericks bench, they have Tim Hardaway Jr., who is a really underrated player because he's a really good shooter who can hit difficult shots. Tim provides much needed scoring as well as being a solid third option, and when he's on fire, he's hard to stop. They also have Jalen Brunson to be the backup point guard, and I think he's a pretty good one since he's a good shooter as well as a high IQ player who will also make the right play every single time. Willie Cauley-Stein will be an okay backup big, but I don't expect much from him. Dorian Finney-Smith is Dallas's best perimeter defender, and last season he improved his three-point shot significantly, and now is one of the more underrated role players in the league, although I think he will start. Also, Dallas has Maxi Klieber, who will start at center, and for him, I think he's one of the most underrated and best role players because he does his role perfectly, which is to guard the opposing team's best forward, and he does that at a high level, and he can also space the floor very well for his position. If I'm being honest, I don't see Dallas having a better record than teams like the Lakers, Clippers, or even the Nuggets, but I do think they will have a higher seed than Golden State, due to Golden State having no depth or chemistry. I also think they will be better than Portland due to how dominant their offense is, and I must admit that I'm a bit unsure about that pick because there's a real chance that Porzingis' injury affects their record since a lot of their offense is dependent on him. And if I had to guess where they would finish in the standings, I would choose for them to finish with the 4th seed, but I can see them falling as low as the 6th seed. Dallas will be good, but I don't see them as contenders. Anyways guys, that's it for the video. Let me know where you think Dallas will finish in the West. Please like this video to show support. Subscribe to my channel to help me reach 500 subscribers before the end of 2020. And comment on this video to start the conversation with me. Also check these 2 videos up above if you like this one. And I'm out.